So I try to talk all the time when I record a video, and it's more than 30 minutes, and the latest videos were about 50 minutes, and it's not the way I usually talk, and everyone talk in everyday life, because let's say this the Big Bang Theory sitcom, and the guys just talk to each other using small talks, like a sentence or maybe 3 to 5 sentences, and they pronounce them very quickly, and then they take turns, and if there are, let's say, 3 persons in the room, they say each line in turn, and it's not like they create these long monologues, more lecture-like style. So, and yeah, these lines are usually about some particular topic, and they change from the scene to the scene. It's not like they talk about one topic all the time. This way of saying things is more for giving lectures on some particular subject, like maybe in physics, on mechanics, or in philosophy, on Plato, Socrates, and Aristotle, and so on. So I think I need to change to more small talks on different ideas, because this will be more natural. Maybe I need to do some pauses to think, and usually the videos I watched, the persons who recorded these videos, they just kind of talk, they say a single sentence quite quickly, and then there is this edit jump to the next sentence. It's like they say sentence, if they fail to pronounce it correctly, or something else, they can repeat the same sentence with more correct pronunciation and or intonation, and they can think about the next sentence and then pronounce it quite quickly, and then they edit the videos and just cut off the moments where they fail to pronounce the way they wanted, or they cut off the pauses between the sentences when they thought about the next idea they wanted to express, and these edit cuts, edit jumps are not so significant. You can't really pay too much attention to them. Usually you pay more attention to the way they pronounce the text, they say the ideas, and this idea is quite smooth, and it's very convenient for listening to it. It's like listening to audiobook when the narrator just tells the story according to the book, with the intonation, with the actor like what tones or something, pauses, but the narrator doesn't make too much pauses between the sentences, thinking about. Yeah, it's like when your parents read you the bedtime story, they didn't think about the next sentence, because they just read the story. They just try to make it more natural sound, more like this real story they talk about than the story they read from the book. And this is the benefit of having the whole text in front of you when you know what you're going to talk about the next moment. So because I don't do this cut editing to my videos, I'm going to work with the ideas that go into my mind, and I think now I'm going to do this pauses between the ideas, and I'm not going to edit it. Anyway, I don't think that these videos will watch anyone. Okay, these videos will be watched by anyone except for me, so that's alright for me, because this is the practice for me to pronounce small talks on some small subjects. And the small talk I want to talk now is about this stuff. I read somewhere about this Stanislavsky method versus Chekhov's method, and these two methods were created by these two people for the actors in theaters. And they are the most famous methods of acting, and lots of American actors told about these styles, that they studied the works of Stanislavsky most of the time, and they tried to use his method into their works during the shooting of the movies. And like I think Leo DiCaprio said about it somewhere in his interviews about Stanislavsky method exactly. And at some point I just met the article that compared to these methods. No, I didn't think about the difference of these two methods. I didn't think about what is Stanislavsky method. I heard something about it, and it was alright with me, but when I encountered this comparison between these two methods, I kind of understood the difference much better, and I understood the Stanislavsky method much better. And so Chekhov's method was the way he trained the actors for his I don't know whether Chekhov had his own theater, but he wrote lots of plays, and I think he kind of taught the actors to play his plays, and his method was to create the external expressions, external behavior that will usually show you how the person feels. Let's say, how can you say that the person is upset? Because because the girl may cry, or because the face expression is quite sad. You can say this by looking at the face features, like the mouth, the the ends of the mouth are kind of looks to the floor, comparing to the smile, when the ends of the mouth looks somewhere up to the ceiling, yeah, and other stuff like the whole the expression of your face can be quite neutral, upset, blank, and other stuff. The same goes with when the person is angry, then you can see some muscles that are tense on the face, on the forehead. The nostrils are quite wide. Maybe the teeth over the upper jaw and the lower jaw contacted each other quite hard, yeah, all this stuff. So Chekhov's method was about creating these expressions of the face for the emotion that you want to show in the play. And the other type of behavior by your hands, by your legs, when you're upset, your chest kind of look to the ground, your shoulders hunch over your chest, your head looks to the ground, yeah. But when you're happy, then your shoulders broad. It's like you have the wings behind your back. Your chest have this vector and this kind of imaginary vector looks towards 45 degrees forward, yeah, to the ground, to the sky, comparing to the ground or something like that. And your head is trying to, your spine is very straight, your head is looking somewhere forward, and other stuff. So Chekhov taught the actors to understand these types of external expressions for different emotions that people usually have. And then when actors get these types of physical expressions, yeah, postures and other stuff, the motions, when you are quite let's say happy and you are confident in yourself, your motions are quite slow, let's say confident. But when you're nervous, your motions with your hands, so abrupt, they're quick and other stuff. So the actors used these patterns of the external expressions, external appearance, and then when they applied these patterns to themselves, these external patterns created the internal patterns of the corresponding emotions. Like they started to feel upset or happy or something like that. And there was this William James, the psychologist in America, I think, who taught the whole America to smile, and I think he got this from Chekhov, and he said, yeah, he taught America to smile because when you keep your smile on your face for a long time, at some point, maybe 5 minutes later, you start to feel happy. It's like the connection between the inner state and the outer state. And if you keep your outer state that corresponds to the happiness, then through this link, this nervous connection, your inner state starts to change to the happiness. And Norbekov, with his system of healing, his basic exercise is about walking with a straight posture and keeping your smile. I think 2 times a week during the hour, and you need to keep this posture and keep your smile, and this way the outer way of outer state of your body creates the inner state of your body, and you kind of become happy inside, and this inner happiness starts the process of healing of your illnesses, because it's a well-known fact that doctors do not heal the patients, they just help the body to heal itself by applying some antibiotics or ointments, medicine, and these things help the resources of the body to heal itself. So this outer state by Norbekov engage the inner state, and this inner state helps to heal the body. This is the theory. I don't know whether it works, but this theory corresponds to the Chekhov's method of getting the inner emotions by creating the outer state of your body. And again, William James, this psychologist in America, he said that people didn't something like people didn't cry because they are sad. They are sad because they cry. Didn't cry because they were sad. They were sad because they cried. It means that if you get the tears in your eyes, and these tears come from the wind, let's say, the wind that blows into your eyes and that makes your eyes tearful, that then having the tears in your eyes for a long time makes you sad inside. You start to feel sad and upset and in the state of crying because your body feels the tears in your eyes. So so it starts being sad inside. Whoa. So this is the first method. This method about creating the outside state, and this outside state by the chain of some nervous system will create the inner state in you. And the second method created by Stanislavsky, it is absolutely opposite to the Chekhov's method, to Chekhov's method. Stanislavsky taught his actors to imagine the emotions inside, start to feel sadness inside by using some memories of sadness, by creating some images in your mind of sad events or something like that. And at some point you start to feel sad in general, and then your body start to behave as it does when you are really sad. And the same goes with the happiness. If you want to show some role when you need to be happy, you need to imagine the images of happiness in you, inside of your mind. Remember some happy moments, and then by the nervous chain of reactions, you will get the happy behavior outside. Like your posture will automatically become straight, shoulders broad, head will look in front of you. You start to smile just from these inner thoughts and inner images. And Leo DiCaprio, for example, used this method to get his roles the way he created them. Because when you watch him playing on the screen, you believe that he feels the emotions that he shows in his character. And those two methods have their own pros and cons, and sometimes it's easier to imagine something inside with the image or with the memory of something, let's say some happy moment, and then to project this happiness to outside of you. Or sometimes it's easier to keep your physical state of straight posture, broad shoulders, smiling on your face, and then make your inner state going into the happiness state. So these two methods kind of equal, and they works both of them quite effective. But for some people it's easier to go with the inner physical state, and for some people it's easier to go with the inner state, because all people are different, and like some persons are visuals, some audios, and other kinesthetics. So some are more Chekhov's people, and some are more Stanislavsky's people. It's like there is a dog person, there is a cat person, there is a dog and cat person that is equally comfortable with both of them, and there is the non-person who doesn't like no cats, neither cats nor dogs. So the same goes with Chekhov and Stanislavsky. There are Chekhov Stanislavsky's person, and there are no persons who can't engage these methods in the everyday life in no way. Yeah. in any way. Okay, so this was a small talk about some psychology with Chekhov and Stanislavsky, with William James, and a little of Norbekov, and it was just a short topic, but it became quite a long small talk because I recalled some thoughts on the subject from my mind during my talk, and it's not like, yeah, and the speed of my speech is quite limited due to this unnaturalness of speaking English for me, after all. And another small talk I remembered, and I think it's really small because there is no much associations from the next topic to different other topics, like with Chekhov and Stanislavsky. So this small topic is about the way the Indians in India tame the elephants, so that the elephants stayed with people. I think this goes not only for the circus elephants, but to the elephants that are used in like agriculture, when Indians ride elephants as Slavic people rides horses this way. So when they caught a small elephant, when the elephant is a child, they tie the elephant by the rope to some branch, some pole that is put into the ground. And this small elephant is quite weak, and it tries to run away, but it can't, because the rope is quite strong and the pole is set hardly or something like that in the ground, yeah, and the little elephant just can't tear down the rope or pull off the pole from the ground. And then the elephant grows and it becomes the full-fledged elephant, big and strong animal, but it continues to be tied up by the same rope to the pole in the ground, and it doesn't try to get free of this rope, because it remembers that when it was a child, it couldn't get away, it couldn't tear down the rope or pulled out the pole from the ground. So this memories stays in the elephant during its life, and when it becomes strong and big, it doesn't try to tear down the rope or pull out the pole, because these memories are just the constraints in his mind, the limits, that the borders in his mind, and he can't go out of these borders, out of these limits. And this is the way the Indians tame the elephants, yeah. But this idea goes to the person's psychology in general. When we are small, or when we when we were small, or when we had some let's say painful experience or something, when we failed and we couldn't resolve this experience, we remember this failing way of dealing with this type of experience, and next time when we meet this experience in our life, even when we are strong, big, and when we can deal with this experience quite easily, we had this restriction in our mind, this memory of failure, this memory of limiter in our mind, that we couldn't solve this problem because, and so we think that we can't solve it now. And even when we try to solve it, kind of trying to surpass our limits in our mind, we could fail for the first 5, 10, 20 times, because these memories, our psychic, will fail us. Our actions, our body will act according to our memory and our psychic image of ourselves, not to the real picture of us in this time. And again, the associations go to this map to memory relationship, or map to territory relationship, when people tend to look at the memory, at the map, and think that they look at the real territory, because once the map showed the real territory, but then the territory really changed territory, but the map stayed the same, and people tend to think that the map is what the territory is, and they try to behave according to the map. And even if they see that the territory changed, they try to act according to the map and to kind of move the territory back to the state when it corresponded to the map. So this is a really difficult psychological process of going out of your limits, out of your boundaries, and you need a lot of effort and some other stuff, encouragement from yourself or from something external to you, to break this limit and to get out of your comfort zone, to create this new nervous link, nervous connection between your new self and the way you connect and the actions you can perform, but not just the memory that you have in your mind about yourself lots of years ago. Yeah. So even if I said that this elephant with the rope example did not have lots of associations to other stuff, I managed to find this association to the psychological memories of your achievements, your failures in the past, and that you try to apply those past memories into your current life. Okay, this is the end of the second small talk. And I think I have another small talk, and it's about Gestalt. It's a kind of modern term for now, and Gestalt therapy was introduced by Friedrich Perls. I think he was a German psychiatrist, and he introduced this idea of our needs or the tasks that we need to perform are the figures. One task corresponds to one figure in our mental on our mental screen, let's say, yeah. And this particular figure has a very strict outline. Like the figure is, let's say, black and the background is white. And when we resolve this particular problem or task that exists on our mental screen, this black figure becomes white and it blends into the background. And again, we have a white empty screen in our mental mind. But then another figure stands out of this whiteness, and this is another problem or task that we need to resolve. So when the person resolves successfully the tasks, the figures that appears in front of his mental screen, and these figures become white and blends back into the background, then the psychological development of the person goes well. It is all according to Perls. But when, for some reasons, we can't resolve some particular problems, these problems do not become white and do not blend into the background. They just stay of some gray scale, light gray, dark gray. And when other problems appear in front of our mental screen, they goes against not the white background but some gray background, and the more problem are unsolved by us, the more the grayer the background becomes. And Pearls thought that this was the source of our anxiousness and nervous something state when we have too many unresolved tasks, which were figures, and these figures just made our mental screen gray from the initial white color. So Pearls introduced the method of going through, I don't know, memory or something, getting these unresolved tasks, these figures that did not blend into the white background, and resolve them using some of his techniques, the psychological techniques that he developed. And then one by one, when most of the figures from the great scale state go to white state and blend into the white background, the person will become like psychologically healthy again, and this person will see the next problems as the black figures against the white background, and he will be as the children who do not have this gray background yet, and they resolve the problems in the natural way. So this was the idea of Pearls, the description of the psychological problems due to his observations. Well, when I just described it from the books where I read about it at different times, I don't see now any ways, any algorithms to deal with these problems just from the description of these problems. So to deal with these problems, you need to take the methods created by Pearls to resolve these problems, but the whole idea of closing the Gestalt, which is the modern term now, is to solve some problem that wasn't resolved for a long time, and it stayed in the memory, in the psychic of the person, and it kind of made the white background gray. So basically, in simple everyday language, people talk about closing the Gestalt when they kind of met the problem that they met 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and they couldn't resolve it that time, but now they successfully resolved it and kind of closed this Gestalt. And it's not about the real Gestalt about which Pearls talked, but it's about the way experiencing the problem that you couldn't solve some time ago. It's not necessary that this problem was so important for you that it made your mental background gray, but it was quite important for you that you remembered that you didn't resolve it at the moment when this problem appeared. So I think this expression, resolve the Gestalt, is quite interesting, because it shows that you solve your old problem lots from many times ago. And there was a Russian TV series that was called Resolve the Gestalt, Solve the Gestalt, or Close the Gestalt. And I watched only the first episode. It was about the guy who almost died, and he kind of survived and started to see spirits. And the first spirit he saw was the mother of his wife, and this mother of his wife died a year ago maybe, and now she couldn't go to the heaven because her spirit had some unresolved problems with on earth, and she didn't know what these problems were, and she couldn't communicate with the people on earth except for him. So he went to different people, like her husband and maybe her friends, and he told them with her words, that from her words, that she asked for forgiveness or something, or she was sorry for some events that happened, some actions that she made one time ago, and for the whole episode it didn't help. And then she went to her daughter, who was his wife, and he told some stories from the past. Okay, her daughter couldn't she couldn't I don't remember this word for now. I'll try to she couldn't give her mother not satisfaction, but something like you, I can't you, because you do too much bad things to me. I can't you, but I need, because Jesus said to your enemies, so your soul will be free of this feeling. I can't remember this word right now. Anyway, her daughter can't have these feelings to her mother because of all the actions that her mother made for her daughter. But then this she and this husband remembered the story when his wife was about, I don't know, 5 or 10 years old, and she had some illness and very high temperature, and her mother stayed beside her bed for 3 days without sleeping, because she worried about her daughter. And at this moment, her daughter realized that her mother had some love to her, for her, the mother's love that she could show only in her own way. But she loved her anyway, and she, I don't remember this word, had this feeling, as Jesus said to her mother, and her mother was free from the links that hold her on earth, and this way she closed her Gestalt, and she went to the heaven. And in the end of this episode, this guy met some young guy of 19 years old who claimed to be his father, who left him after his birth. And it was the topic for the next episode, to close the Gestalt for his father. But I didn't watch it because, no, it's not my topic it's not my theme to watch this stuff on the screen. I prefer to read about it in psychological books and to read the stories that the writers use as the examples of showing the problems, and then they comment on these stories to show the readers how these problems can be resolved by the example. And having this type of problem and the solution for this problem, I can try to apply this algorithm to myself. But when I just read some fiction book or watch some movie that uses this problem as the plot for the story in it, I can't get the way to resolve this problem from the movie or the fiction book itself, because it's hard to take the full solution and apply it to yourself if the solution needs to be applied during a long period of time, like several weeks or maybe several months, and you need to do this regularly. That's hard by itself. But to get the solution from watching the problem, it's even harder, because this is why the psychologists created their branches of psychology, like Perls with his Gestalt therapy, because if everyone could do this just by looking at the problem without the solution, then everyone would be the psychologist, and there would be no necessity in this. There would be no need in the psychologist in general. So the problem stays, and it's better for me to get the algorithm and try to apply this algorithm to me, than to get the raw problem and try to discover some algorithm. In this way, if I discover this algorithm, I can write my own books on this particular topic, because it will be my invention, not just that I got something, that I get to something that was invented by someone. No, it would be my own invention, and I would use it to create my own field in psychology. So this is the third small talk I wanted to talk about today on Gestalt and about closing the Gestalt, and I think this is quite an interesting topic, though the idea itself is quite small. I didn't get into this topic too deep, but to describe it took quite a lot of time. So for today, I think that's all.